Hi everyone, this is Tony. I'm the Dungeon Master for D&D Raw, and with me today are the following players.
Hi, I'm Chris, and I'll be playing Auric Fireforge, the Hill Dwarf Forge Cleric.
Hey, I'm Rachel, and I'm playing Dahlia Restrick, the Asimar Phoenix Sorcerer.
Hey, this is Nick, and I will be playing Leuven Cromdell, the half-elf alchemist artificer.
Next time will be Sharp and Quill, episode 19. Join us now for Rumble Squad, episode 2-11, Forging Ahead. Last time, as the party searched for missing people, they found themselves in the midst of a Darakhul operation. As they waged battle against these various Darakhul and even a Darakhul priestess of some sort, Dahlia at one point was nearly taken down, but brought back up to help finish the fight with Auric, Leuven, and Krognar Onehorn. So, Dahlia, you are up at 6 HP, but prone. Auric, any action or movement?
Yeah, so you said that this is difficult terrain where I'm at?
Yep. I'll tell you right now, you won't be able to get out of the area. One of the Darakhul is going to take a swipe at you.
Yep. Well, that's the only one.
He just hit 22 for 10 points of piercing damage as he swings with his war pick.
All right, and then I need to make a save.
First, a save to maintain.
Yeah. Success. All right, and now for my action, I will be casting... Yeah, we'll go with Sacred Flame.
Okay. Dex save?
Yes.
I'm assuming on the priestess, or is it on someone else?
On the priestess.
Failed.
Sweet. 4 radiant.
She's hurt. You need to make another Constitution saving throw.
6.
You take... Well, you are down. Because you would have taken 33 points of piercing damage.
Holy cow.
And that aura is gone. All right, so Auric falls unconscious in this swarm as these creatures continue to bite at him. Leuven.
Keep running, Auric. Healing word.
So you cast Healing Word on Auric. Roll your d4.
So, 9.
You release the Healing Word as Auric, in turn, feels the life come back to him. And it still hurts. Those locusts are biting into you, buddy.
Tony, how far back do I need to pull to be out of this locust range?
So after 10 feet or 20 feet of movement, so you'll have 10 feet left after you move back those 10 feet. Roll a Constitution save for Cloudfarer from that initial casting.
8.
Cloudfarer is down.
Okay. We'll fix that later.
During that initial blast of insects, it just struck at him repeatedly.
Okay, so the Darakhul near Dahlia, you said looked bloodied. I guess scorched would be a better
All
term.
Darakhul now look bloodied.
I'm just going to cast Acid Arrow at the one near Dahlia.
Make your attack roll.
12 to hit.
You release the spell, and it misses. Just.
That is my turn.
Dahlia.
Ooh, it hurts. I am going to very painfully pull my butt up off the floor. I'm gonna shamble about 10 feet, kind of towards Krognar, to get in a nice straight line. And I'm going to cast Agnazar's Scorcher at level 3.
Okay.
DC 15 to save.
Both fail.
They take a whopping 11 points of damage.
Points are points, man.
Yeah, it all adds up.
And then I'm going to use another 2 points. Then I'm going to cast Firebolt at her. So a 16 to hit.
16 just misses. So you release the bolts, and it deflects off the armor.
I am very ticked off. Very angry.
Krognar.
I'm going to do Goring Rush at her, so I can move 60 feet.
So, because the spiritual weapon's there, you have advantage.
Yep. Does a 22 hit?
A 22 does hit. So what does Goring Rush do again?
It's just as a bonus action, I do one melee attack with my horns. That is 5 damage.
You run up and kind of slam her with your horns and stumbles back. She's not looking good. She's definitely bloodied. You have your regular attack, so you can hit her with your rapier. With advantage.
Yes. 24?
24 definitely hits, so you do get your sneak attack for this.
Yeah, 14.
Yeah. She's getting hurt. She's not down yet, though. But that does bring us to one of the last remaining Darakhul.
So, does the insect swarm happen on the beginning or end of the turn?
End.
Okay.
You have to end your turn in the area. So, and all 3 attacks on Leuven.
At disadvantage.
So the Warp Pick hits for 4 piercing damage. Make a concentration check.
16.
Good, because the next 2 only missed because of the blur.
Yes.
So with the blur, as he swings, you avoid the other attacks. Now it's her turn. She will go ahead and drop the Insect Plague as she casts a new spell towards you, Auric. I need you to make a Wisdom saving throw.
All right. I can work with that. 22.
So you feel a spell you've used before, just once, as your muscles start to tense and hold, but you resist the effects of the hold person. And then she turns and tries to bite at you, Krognar.
Ooh.
She goes into an utter frenzy as she jumps at you, starts to cling at you, and bites into your shoulder. For the first of these bites, 16 points of damage. She goes to bite again and misses as she bites a third time and is going to hit. If you want to use your reaction or if you want to reduce the damage.
Which would basically be like, man, your breath stinks. -4.
So she goes to go for your neck and just misses. However, she is left wide open. Attacks against her have advantage until the end of her next turn. Auric, you are prone, but alive.
Fantastic. But we need some more hammers. So, Spirit Guardians once more. So that is my action. And then for my bonus action, I will have my spiritual weapon attack her with advantage.
Okay, make your attack roll with advantage.
So, a 20 to hit.
Yeah, it hits.
Good. 7 force damage. And I will stand up.
So, Auric, you release the spiritual weapon's focus, or the spiritual guardian's focus on your weapon and strike at her, slamming into her shoulder. Krognar, you hear a crack. She's starting to fall apart. Leuven, you're still blurry.
Poison spray cantrip at my assailant.
You release the poison spray, and he looks like he completely ignored it. Immune to poison. Dahlia.
I'm gonna chuck a chaos bolt at her.
Okay, attack roll with advantage.
So an 18 to hit.
That hits.
Let's go with the thunder.
What's the total damage?
10 points of thunder damage. Boom, boom, boom.
So you see Dahlia form again this chaotic bolt of energy, hurl it kind of like a side toss, and it goes right under your arm, Krognar, and you hear a boom in this thing's chest as it stumbles back. Now its ribs kind of exposed in its like almost soon-to-be skeletal form.
2 more points. Firebolt at her.
Advantage.
Yes! Nat 20!
What's the total damage?
22 points of damage. Fire damage.
You strike her right in the face. You see it just burns away. She's holding on.
What?
Come on.
By scraps. As you just hear this. Krognar.
I am going to just attack. Yep, with advantage. So if I hit, I get my sneak attack. As 16 hit.
It is the Darakhul beside Leuven's turn. Disadvantage attack rolls against you. So it starts to just lunge at you and swing, and with 2 nat 1s, it like starts to claw and hack at itself as you deflect your shield against it.
Wow.
Nice.
It looks like it's barely holding up, and it's her turn, and she's in the aura.
She is, since she takes damage at the beginning.
So wisdom save. What's your DC? She does save. What's the damage?
So she would take 6 damage. Radiant.
Still.
Oh my god.
goodness! How many hit points does she have?
What is going on?
All right, she's going to go for a last-ditch effort here. Auric, make a charisma saving throw.
Oh, no.
Oh no! Oh no!
I am actually proficient in that.
Yes, but you have no charisma.
I don't. 7.
Away. And Auric vanishes.
What?
Yeah, and she's going to pull away from you, Krognar.
Attack of opportunity.
Yep.
Does a 20 hit?
20 hits. Roll your damage.
15.
How do you want to do this?
Well, because she's turning to flee, so it's, again, another little flourish, and I'm going to hamstring her, or get Achilles, and then hamstring, and then just kind of go up underneath her ribcage.
Okay. So, as she starts to, you see her still focusing on whatever she just did to Auric, and she starts to turn. You, with a quick flourish, hack at her ankle, hack at her other leg, dropping her first to one knee as she starts to kind of get up, then drops the other knee, still trying to focus on this spot, and just with a quick swipe, she just falls as the orb she's holding hits the ground and cracks. And then, as that happens, Auric reappears.
Hey, guys. Miss me?
You were aware that suddenly you weren't there, though, Auric. You're not sure where you were. You just weren't there. So, for the sake of some simplicity, if you guys want, this guy's not going to survive. How do you want to finish him?
We all want to finish him, let's be honest.
Give him a big radiant hammer hug.
Okay, Radiant Hammer Hug from Auric. Leuven?
I don't know, just a little knifey stab. It's about all I can do.
Okay. Dahlia?
Fire? Hello?
Krognar?
Yep, Goring Rush.
All right. So, as this last remaining Darakhul looks upon the numbers now not in his favor, he starts to step back as a dagger plunges in his side and hammers start to form around him. Dahlia singes and burns away most of his body, and just as the flame ends, out of nowhere, Krognar slams into him with both horns and just tears him apart.
Go team!
But you guys are out of initiative.
I'm going to immediately healing hands myself. So I'm just like, owie, it all hurts. Why does it all hurt? What is this hurtiness? Because I am not used to the getting hit. I'm supposed to stay in the back, guys.
My blur eventually wears off.
Yep. So if we take 10 minutes, I can cast Prayer of Healing.
I will say, as you're initially starting that, you do hear, hello?
Yeah, I was just about to say, check the doors.
We're gonna need a few minutes.
No, I'm going to go check on the doors.
So you start to check them. They are locked, but it won't take you long to help.
I flop down next to
Either
Auric.
bust it open or have Leuven help pick the lock or whatever.
I stumble over to help pick.
Yeah, we'll pick.
And you find about a dozen different dwarves between two what look like old quarters, but in just plain clothes, and they just look terrified.
Do any of them look like they're in chef's clothing?
Yep. You also do see an acolyte of Yadumi.
Nice.
Maybe you can do some additional heals.
So yeah, you guys can take 10 minutes, kind of gather the prisoners, or the former prisoners now, together. And they're just like, is it over? Are those blasted things done?
All the ones we saw. We're here to help.
Thank you. Curse be it. That was, something else.
So you all heal 12 points.
I'll take it. I think I'm not bloodied anymore.
As you guys gather these citizens of Van Rim, I assume you gather all the various alchemical and mechanical stuff together and all the papers and stuff?
Yep.
Yep.
Whatever it was that she had in her hand.
Okay. You gather up this orb, which, you know, a little bit of study, and you kind of get the sense that it seemed like this was going to be a focus for a kind of gate spell to help open up to the Shadowfell. Some of the notations you found kind of help to mention that. Cool. Gathering everybody together, you do return to Gilan, who happily agrees to meetings with Leuven and Dahlia for the next day to discuss potential plans on future endeavors. Same thing with you, Auric, and then Krognar goes and starts to introduce you to the old-timers who know about the time of the Cataclysm and share stories of the terrible things that occurred in Von Rim, especially during that time. Beyond that, it gets to be late in the evening by the time you guys are all settled up, and you can enjoy a night at the Short Nomad and just talk and get to know each other, because you also promise to share stories amongst each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I pull out my painting portfolio, and yeah, there are stories shared.
Would Krognar do any performances?
Yeah, he'll talk about... He's feeling quite proud of his Minotaur heritage right now. Kind of tapped into a little bit of that feral kind of nature that lies underneath. So, yeah, I'll definitely do some performance.
Okay. So you all get to enjoy a performance with what roll?
19.
A very captivating performance by Krognar as the various outfits switch and change as he continues, and every once in a while comments on pineapples.
Yeah. Under my breath, but like, pineapple.
But you all get nice long rests, and the next day, Krognar, you are requested to head towards the edge of town.
Sweet.
Which the rest of you guys can see him off.
Mm-hmm.
Because one thing you notice very clearly as you guys are heading out with Krognar is in the sky is an airship. Bright pink with little shines of light that reflect off its surface, giving it almost a scaled-like texture to the outside. And at the edge of town is a small skiff where you see a extremely well-dressed Solanan elf. Big wide hat with a long poofy feather in it, with elegant clothes, similar actually to your kind of Three Musketeers-esque coloration, Krognar.
I would say, which is what I'm in again.
And he just goes, "Oh, hello there. Hi, Krognar. Please come back. We have so much to do."
Yes.
Oh, you have friends here?
Well met. Yes, indeed. May I present to you Rumble Squad?
Ah, Rumbles. I love the name. I love all this. Oh, Yadamine. Great in terms of weapons and armor. I know some of the best, most talented smiths of Yadamine over in Rome. It's beautiful. Oh, but we really must be off, Krognar.
Ooh, stories.
Oh, always stories. I have many to tell you. I have been on some trips, and I feel you'll enjoy being on my airship.
Excellent.
Please, and he gestures for you to go ahead and get on.
You have stout?
Oh, always. The best.
I can always count on you.
Anytime. Oh, my apologies. I didn't actually introduce myself. I'm Captain Faroon Gone. If you ever happen to be in the Solanan area, I travel to and from every so often, but...
Being from there, I hope we cross paths. And Krognar, here's an envelope with just information of how to write to me in the Naversol network in case you feel so inclined.
Yes, most definitely. As I discover new tales to tell, I shall send them in your direction as well, so we can spread the good word.
Please do.
Oh, I love storytellers. Always so fascinating. Well, Krognar, we should be off.
Yes,
Pleasure
yes.
to meet all of you on the squad. Bye. And he kind of hops onto the skiff with you as it begins to lift off.
And as we're heading up, it's like, wait, the Holy Forge Company. Oh! As we're taking off, I'm gonna reach over the kind of the railing, be like, I remember how I know you now. I visited your store in Rumnaheim. Finest work I've seen. I shall visit you soon. Thank you again.
As the skiff continues to rise higher and higher away. Auric, you've never had the store in Rumnaheim. You purchased the cart before and then left. And that's when you started the Holy Forge Company.
Nice.
Now we're gonna have the holy trademark war.
The holy trademark war.
And the airship flies away.
Don't worry, I can help with all your patents and
We
stuff.
need our copyrights. We need our team corporate lawyer.
I'm gonna have to read up on my legalese again. Jeez.
But on that note, you guys are going to have some time to yourselves, as there is nothing immediately pressing. Any questions before we get into what would you like to do over, the days that you'll have?
Contact the holy lawyer.
What holy lawyer?
I could pull it off for you.
The holy copyright infringement lawyer.
Yep, that's definitely a thing.
I assume you want things in order of priority.
Yes. So, jumping in, you have the day to yourselves as well as several other days as far as you can tell. Nothing immediately pressing upon you guys, Rumble Squad. So, what's the plan? You guys have some downtime if you want. You could go off and explore things, but what would you like to do?
Quick question, have we already spoken to Galan about our trade deals? We've already done that piece, correct?
You would be doing that today, so we can go into like a snippet of that in just a minute, and I will have checks to see, like, and you tell me what kind of deals you're hoping for out of this. Because he was going to introduce you to several of the clan crafters in town.
Awesome.
Similarly for me, just, making sure I have the permissions to sell in these lands.
I mean, with Auric, I believe you are a guild.
Yes.
You have a background for guild artisan as well?
Yeah, no, it was a guild artist or a clan crafter.
Clan crafter, that's
Yeah.
what it was. So basically, Auric can find some room and board for himself here with no problem for free. All right? So that's you guys' priority thing as you guys are getting involved in this for the first day or so, right?
Yes, and then as soon as possible, I would want to at least sell off my 5 potions that I created in the Rigorum.
Okay. And then, Auric, what are you up to during this first day where they're starting these meetings?
I would probably try and head to the local temple first. I was trying to decide on what would be most important to my character. I think going and visiting the local temple would probably be the top priority over anything else crafting related.
Okay. That would be in the Temple Borough, which is in the Undercity. That's the main one. There is actually 2 things specifically dedicated to Yadamine. There's a shrine, which is where an old Temple of Yadamine once stood. Has a lot of like religious significance to it, but it was devastated and never fully rebuilt. And then there's now a much newer temple that is much nicer.
Probably go to the newer temple first, just so I can speak to my flock.
Okay. It's called the Sanctified Steel. They would, if you have sermons that you would like to give, the priest there would be more than willing, as you are someone who has gone out into the world and experienced it, to tell your stories of how Yadamine has influenced your life out beyond the Thessun Kingdom.
Oh yes, I would definitely wish to do this.
So Auric will see the rest of you later that night.
No, like 3 days later, let's be honest. He's long-winded.
I mean, you remember dwarves drink and eat, right?
He can do it while he talks. We've totally seen that happen.
That's true, we've seen it.
That's when the best sermons are given.
So, meanwhile, Dahlia and Leuven, you guys go and head to Gillan Silveraxe, and happy things have been dealt with, and he is able to actually rather quickly gather together the heads of the various clan crafters in the area. And what is your pitch?
So is it like almost like a forum setting where there's, all of them are sitting around, or?
Yeah, there's this large table. It's a tavern. Like, they have this back room that's been cleared out. So there's a few drinks around. It's a little bit lax. It's a little bit calm and nothing like very formal and all that. You're offered a drink as well. But definitely the focus is on the 2 of you, as the other heads of the clans are seated and just having a drink, and they're kind of chatting to each other, and then seem to be waiting for you to start, as Gillan introduces the 2 of you as Dahlia and Leuven.
Okay. I'd first give like a very, polite bow. It's close to something dwarven looking as I would understand, because I don't know that I've spent much time with dwarves, so it's probably not very good.
Having spent time with Auric, I would try to, seeing you do that, I would mimic what I understand of Dwarven body language from watching Auric, to see if that helps.
Roll a performance check, both of you.
24.
6.
Haven't hung around a lot of Thessun dwarves before, Dahlia, so little uncertain of what to do.
I'm trying, though. Just forging ahead.
Leuven, you are matching Auric's mannerisms to a T.
It's like Auric is in the room with you.
Good afternoon, clan crafters. As I understand, you all represent various crafters within the city, and I am, as mentioned, Dahlia Restoric. I have traveled far and wide, even going through the Rigorum, several areas of Ostia.
The Rigorum. You see them kind of mutter amongst themselves about the Rigorum, like, well, yeah, that's far.
I'll pause, let them kind of mumble a little bit, and then once they've kind of quieted, I am representing on top of the Holy Forge Company with a sweeping arm to Leuven, as well as the Iron Swords Guild, Merchant Guild. We are looking to draw business from your fine establishments throughout the lands.
And hello, I am Leuven Cromdell. I'm actually a cousin of Dahlia's. We have traveled together through the Rigorum. I hail originally from Solana, and I'm here on behalf specifically of the Holy Forge Company.
You get a sense from the various dwarves in the room that they're just kind of, when you comment specifically on the fact that you are Dahlia's cousin, they're just like, oh, they're just like, okay.
Nice.
They seem like they're a little bit more pleased about that for some reason.
Family-oriented, perhaps?
Entire society built on clans.
So with that, I would probably pull out one piece of paper that has a sort of like roughly written like contract that looking on it. Like, so what I'm interested in is setting up trade arrangements between your crafters and your establishments with various locations throughout Ostia. We can arrange to send your goods to wherever they would. Of course, there would be some fees involved and such, but we would look to get you the best price and get your name out and about, which would then draw more attention to your fine city of Funroom.
And you have a representation about doing this.
Oh, yes, of course. And I'd probably have some kind of like seal or something, I'm assuming, from the Iron Swords.
Hmm?
You know, pull it out and present it to whoever is interested in looking at it.
Just a blonde dwarf, bit curly hair, just looks at it. Iron Swords, we don't know you from this area. What have you done in this area that can show us that, you're worth putting our time in?
Ah, see, that's the kicker. We haven't quite made it this far north. I'm one of the first from my guild to make it this far. So that's why I'm looking to get the word up of the Iron Swords up here, as well as get the word of, what was the name of your fine establishment?
I run the Alchemist Guild down in the Undercity.
As an alchemist myself, I'd love to get acquainted sometime.
Rogai, pleasure to meet you.
Leuven Cromdell. And I do whatever dwarven gesture is a pleased to meet you gesture.
We'll just shake your hand across the table.
Okay, perfect. Love it.
What sort of means are you planning to get our goods and services out there?
Well, I could arrange to have transport set up to have some of your items taken down south. I could also arrange to take a few of the items for show with me and then have the profits sent back to you, of course. We could arrange the minutia of the details once we know what you guys are looking to sell versus what we have available as space and everything.
Well, we all are various crafters of various kinds. I tend to have potions of all kinds available, though healing has been a little on the short supply. We have smiths, we have wood carvers, we have leather workers. Take your pick, lass. We have all sorts of things, and we have the means to get plenty to you. Our question is, how can you guarantee that we get a profit off of these?
Well, obviously, your goods are more than speak for themselves, I'm sure. So it wouldn't be hard to get a profit and then have it sent back. I have no doubt that I could get a profit sent.
Aye, and you, Leuven, as a fellow alchemist, tell me, can you guarantee the safe transport of all of our various chemicals, potions, and all of that?
That's part of our specialty, actually. Not only are we here selling goods and services, but we are also a band of adventurers ourselves, and so protecting people and objects that's something we're quite skilled at. We're the Rumble Squad, and we hope to spread our name far and wide as we continue our travels. I couldn't help but notice your mention of being short on supply of healing potions, by the way. I do have some available in supply now to sell, and given time I could make more.
Perhaps we talk about that deal a little bit later.
Glad to.
But, and he kind of is smirking. The idea of a Rumble Squad trying to transport our goods, I'm sure you can do really well against bears and other attacks of the like, and clearly against these Darakhul that were invading us. Well done, by the way. Don't think we haven't heard of that. But Rumble doesn't tend to give the best ideas when we're transporting some more delicate goods. No offense.
None taken.
He's smirking, and you see he's kind of like teasing you a little bit.
Yeah, I smirk back.
So, between the two of you, why should we go with you versus some more established guild in the area?
Well, How far do your established guilds reach? Have they approached you with such offers? Do they go as far south as the Nephany, or have any connections with the Nephany?
Aye, you have connections with the Nephany. That's impressive considering that their entire major capital is all hidden.
We're working on those still, but we do have connections in the Rigorum and as far south as the Vermeer Empire.
We have a few shipments that go out to the Vermeer Empire. Most of our shipments have been going out to Solana. Do you have any connections there?
Big sweeping hand motion to Leuven.
Clarifying question. I started traveling with Auric from my hometown in Solana, and we traveled through several towns along the way as we headed south toward the Nephany and ultimately the Rigorum, right?
You traveled through a few towns that were still within Solana before leaving Solana. Your town was on the edge of the territory.
So presumably we've done business in a few places.
You've set up shop in a couple places.
Okay, so I list places that we have relatively recently done business in, and I also mention, yes, and I'm also from Madaker and have met several people along the way in the nearby city of Aliabel. Also, as someone deeply involved in the Nevercell network, I just have several connections throughout Ostia and am very adept at making more, if need be, in more of a business sense.
I would like a persuasion check from both Dahlia and Leuven.
Okay.
I got a 22.
15.
Okay. Perhaps we can send some business your way. Do a test run of these promises you're making to get our goods further south. You don't have any business anywhere near the Nephany, I'll admit that. Rimmer Empire, for sure. They're always looking for trade. Solana is... Kind of pauses a second. Getting some trade as well.
Could I read into what that pause was about, Tony?
Roll insight.
15.
It's hard to tell. There's a little bit of frustration there. He has a very good poker face, so it's hard to read into him. The most you can get is there's some sort of aggravation there, but it's hard to tell.
Okay.
All right, let's say that we bring you on and we start to transport some of our goods down south. What are you asking in terms of the profit? You sell the goods, you're taking the transport. What's the cost for you?
Well, of course, there'd be a small fee for transport fees because I'd have to hire ships and things. We're still working on our shipping line, so to speak. But let's go with 10%. I'm only asking 10% to get started.
You want 10% to prove that you can do it? Why don't I give you 5%?
How much is the other guild asking that you're already working with?
They're a bit more established than you are, lass.
Well, they're established here, but are they established everywhere else?
Roll another persuasion check.
11.
They're established well enough, and we get consistent profits from them.
Consistent or good profits, though?
What can you guarantee?
Well, it depends on what you're offering and what you end up sending down south with me. You send me your bottom of the line work, I'll get you the best profits I can with those.
We don't have any bottom of the line. All of ours is top quality.
Your apprentices start out at amazing quality?
Oh, we don't sell our apprentices' work. We refine it.
Ah.
They work. They show what they can produce. We break it down and they do it again.
Solid choice.
Saves on some materials, lass. Give us a day to confer. Where are you staying?
It's a good question. Where are we staying, Tony? What was the name of that place?
The Short Nomad.
The Short Nomad. I was going to say the Stuck Pig. The Short Nomad is where we are currently staying. I believe we intend to stay there for at least a few days.
All right. We'll send word to the Short Nomad. Talk to Nora. She's a good sort. I'm sure she'll get you the message.
And I'd give hopefully a little bit better bow than the first one I gave now that I've seen.
Roll another performance check.
23.
You do a little bow and then you just... How long you two been working together? You cousins?
We've been traveling together directly for about a month, but we've been corresponding for years.
It's always good to help family out. Family's the one that'll stick with you. You remember that?
Of course.
Anyways, a pleasure to meet the both of you. We'll get word to you by tonight.
You as well. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
I'll just nod.
Scuttle out.
And you guys go on your way. And that is where we're going to leave this episode for today.
Thank you all for listening. Please share this with your friends and follow us on Twitter @RulesAsWritten. Or check out our website at dndraw.com. And feel free to email any questions to the DM Tony at dm@dndraw.com. Also, subscribe and leave us a review or comment anywhere podcasts are found. And if you're interested in supporting the show, please check out our Patreon at patreon.com/dndraw. Keep on rolling.